We're back together again, and it's a wonderful thing. It's nice to see you all. Tonight, I think we'll talk a little bit about crystals because it's become something quite major. And during my childhood, one of my little playmates, her father was a gemologist, and they had a shop when Knott's Berry Farm started to grow and become what it is. He had a crystal shop in Knott's Berry Farm. In fact, he displayed one of my mother's amethyst necklaces, which was quite amazing, and he had it on display for a while. So I did get to have some information about stones, even way back in the early 40s. So interesting that it has become a mainstay for us all. And every day something new is being found, which is really brilliant and wonderful. I think it's the chrome dioxide green stone that comes from Russia. It looks just like emerald. It's absolutely gorgeous. I've never actually seen one in the rough, however, because I don't even know if you can get a little piece of it like that. It's made into gemstones. I'm going to show you and talk a little bit about healing stones because that's important for us now, for all of us. Healing is not only about the physical body and ailments, it's about the mental stability of our being and our spirituality. We need healing in all those areas of our life. Relationships need healing, or constant twerking a little bit. So we'll see. This I have in front of me, of course, the basic, the rose quartz. This thing is absolutely magnificent and huge and heavy and beautiful. Rose quartz is at the base of all things, at self-esteem. And I've said many times, self-esteem is the biggest healer there is. Learning to love yourself is the first thing, and I keep saying it's not selfishness, it's selfness. It's understanding self, understanding your being and why you're here and who you are. So number one to carry or use would be rose quartz, and that's just healing your mind and your being, and some of your spirit as well. Physical healing, citrine is optimal. It's awesome. My favorite, however, is carnelian. And this is my carnelian stone. It fits in the palm of my hand so that I use it on my own body or I rest it on my body. Carnelian is known by, the Egyptians used it for healing, but also for jewelry. And it's called the blood of Isis. Interesting that the goddesses, all goddesses are healers. So calling upon her while you're using this wonderful carnelian is going to be helpful and help you to heal or to heal others by remote viewing, psychic work, by sending healing light. And this is a good stone to use. Citrine also, if you can get citrine in a good size. The bigger the crystal, the more power, of course. And like I've said before, I know you've seen my charging crystal. Most of you've seen it. It's like this big. It's pure, clear quartz crystal. And we know that it contains electrical resonance. That means there's electricity in it, just blatantly. And if that crystal, if you were taking a bath and that crystal broke, you'd get electrocuted. That's how powerful they are on the physical plane. And on the metaphysical plane, they send energy which becomes light, which enters your body and mind. This is a honey calcite. Isn't that gorgeous? I absolutely love this thing. I've never used it. This came from, of course, from Enchanted. These are for sale. Both the rose quartz. These are for sale, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And this one, I think I want to keep. This is gorgeous. And I've never heard of it called, I thought it was just golden calcite. I didn't realize there was
I think it might,
honey.
yeah.
I like this a lot, and I've never used it, so I really want to try it. Another type of healing, of course, is calling on spirit. Getting spirit to come and help someone, so spirit comes to them and heals them rather than you doing the healing. And I know that Heather uses that method a lot and this crystal a lot, doesn't she?
She does.
And this is celestite. This is a geode that is absolutely magnificent. Look at that. It's like a rainbow, though, in it, really. Look at the size of that thing. If that doesn't bring spirit, I don't know what will. If you can lift it, I can't. So Chris had to do it for me. But I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And I personally haven't used spirit for healing. I usually try myself. I try to send the light and do the healing. I think that, for me, is my quest to be able to do it. So practicing that is important to me. But however you do it, I really recommend doing some crystal work. If not just carrying a bunch of crystals around in your pocket. The problem is some people carry all kinds, a big bunch of everything. And it slows down the impact of one specific intention. So you have to be careful about what stones have the intention that you need for the magic that you're doing. And the magic, again, is science. It's not just magic. It's actually projecting important energies to heal and help and to do all kinds of wonderful things. Today is Thursday, so it's a day of Jupiter. Wearing purple would be good, but black is fine. And the truth is Mercury is retrograding, so starting new projects is not a good idea, but starting to research a new project is important today. Doing your homework about it, your strategy, what is this new project about, and if it's about learning, then you can set up a time and get your organization done. And learning isn't difficult to do during Mercury retrograde. Studying, doing homework, all those things are conducive to Mercury retrograde. You don't actually, sign a contract. You don't buy a computer. You don't buy a car or any electrical device whatsoever, because it won't work. It never does. Be careful sending messages as well, because they can be misconstrued very easily. And I think that now, today especially, would be a good time this evening just to contemplate what your plans are for your future. Really analyze it as well as possible. Write it down. If you don't have a little empty journal, get some papers and start writing down on paper your ideas about your future. And if you're confused about your future, then you need to ask for clarity. Clarity comes with a clear quartz crystal. As simple as that is. The bigger the crystal, the more power you're going to get. However, also wearing clear quartz or carrying clear quartz is fine. And they, of course, they're not that large, and that's all right, as long as you have them. While you're contemplating or meditating, it's good to put one in your left hand. and close your eyes, get yourself into a meditative state, and start thinking about your future and your projects and all the things that you want to obtain in the future, because today's a perfect day for that. And tonight, the evening, you have to yourself, most likely. You know, you don't need to watch TV all night, and you can. And I probably will, pretty much, watch a lot of TV. I watch a new station, a new network called Dabble, D-A-B-L. And it's all about, if there's no news on it, no newscasting whatsoever. It has wonderful different kinds of, there are shows that are to, there's one called Sell This House, and they redecorate the house so they can sell it. It hasn't sold. Then there's one about construction. Then there's one about a lot of different ones on cooking, and Martha Stewart's on there. But my favorite is called Escape to the Country. And it's about England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland. These are real estate people, and they're looking for houses in the countryside, in these beautiful countries, in these houses, so that people who have been living in the city, like London and other busy cities, like in England, they want to get away. They want to go to a quieter place where there are beautiful views and gardens that they can tend to, and more charming houses. Well, when they take you to 3 different houses in this one show, absolutely stunning. And I've traveled to England 3 times. And all 3 times, of course, it was absolutely magnificent. And I ended up, of course, one time in Stonehenge and Oxford, where I did a lecture. And then I did a couple of book tours early on in the 80s. And I stayed there for 3 months, which was in the Cotswolds, which is a beautiful area in England. But I never, ever have been so educated and so thrilled at looking at the entire country, because they will, in this program, they'll show you a map, and they'll show you where Dorset is, and Somerset, and Cornwall is, and all. Then they, of course, go inward to one of these big, beautiful homes and the surrounding. And they also teach you, in certain areas, they'll teach you leather making or some kind of herbal thing that's being done in England and right out in nature. So it's a fabulous show, a wonderful, easy watch station. In Massachusetts, it's 931 on the channel, and I think it's WBZ3 or something like that. I'm not quite sure. It's brand new. I'm hoping you all can find it no matter where you are. I'm sure you can. And enjoy it. It's so peaceful. You don't have to watch the news all the time. And I think that's what's so pleasing about this. It rests your mind and puts you in another place. I love looking at the countryside of England and Wales. It's so gorgeous. So I'm employing you now to please look at crystals and start trying to use them. Placing them around you sometimes is enough. Learning to charge a crystal is very important. And that's quite simple, really. You need to meditate. Close your eyes, hold the crystals in your hand, and infuse your aura, your energy, into the crystal. And usually you know when that's happening by feeling your pulse. Your pulse will start throbbing as you're holding an object. And then you know that it's already charged. Okay? So I will now start doing some readings. We'll see who we have tonight, and it's okay. It's not my way. Get crystals moved. If I don't, well, they don't break. It'll break the table before it'll break the crystal. It's so huge. All right, and we're gonna start. Christopher Bird. Oh, Christopher. And we have the first card of the evening. Okay, it's time for you to travel. This is a card of movement and travel. Of course, now it doesn't mean actually traveling, because we can't do that. It applies to traveling with your mind and the situations that you're in. Again, like researching a project. That's sort of a way of looking at traveling towards what you're trying to do. And it's mind traveling rather than physical traveling. And that's a good thing for you right now. You need to do some research, obviously, on the method by which you make money and the method by which you relate to people. It looks as though that has some stress or issues. Then we would like you to be able to communicate more with people. Rhonda Black. Oh my goodness. The Queen of Wands. Isn't she amazing? Looks a little angry, doesn't she? Well, she's adamant about what she's doing. She's adamant about her ideas. She thinks that everything she thinks is the way to do it and doesn't really look at other possibilities. So maybe it's time for you to reflect on your ideas. It's time for you to take on new ideas or ideas from someone else and at least explore them, rather than doing the same old thing over and over because you think it's the only way to do it. Find a new road, a new way of doing things. Cindy Hayes. Cindy. Well, here we go. Okay, it's the 9. The 9 of Wands means it's perpetuated. It means that this is, you've done so much hard work, and I don't even know if you realize how much you've done and accomplished. You should take an assessment of all the things you've done in your life and be proud of it. Try not to fight with people right now. I know it's pretty difficult, not to argue when you're closed in with everyone. But try to see answering to things in a softer way. It'd be important. Jay Brady. The Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands, of course, is a new, something birthing, something beginning. I think that it means that you may need to know more about magic. You need the reality. You need an experience. Just like the end of a wand can make something happen, actually, it's science. Maybe you should have an experience right now of magic so you will understand that it is real. Virginia Marie. This is about love, and this is about hoping for love and caring for love and being in love. And I think there's a lot of confusion about that, what love really is. And again, I keep touting the fact that we should all love ourselves more. And I think that's evident in this. If there's something not quite right in your relationship of love, you need to explore it and explore your own self-love first. Angel Callie. Angel?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's awesome, isn't he? An angel. Well, there are such things, I guess. The Four of Cups. The Four of Cups. Well, I think that you need to be careful of what you ingest, what you put into your body. It's very important right now for you. Sometimes we poison ourselves by using and drinking or eating something that we know is going to be out of balance. Too much salt, too much sugar, whatever it is. But also ingesting and imbibing. Let's be careful about what you're drinking as well. Brianna Noyes. The King of Cups. Brianna, this is someone from your past or someone that has passed. It's a man who has been very generous to you in some way. And if that person isn't here right now, I would call upon him. And do you think it might be someone from the other world that has been helping you? And maybe you have a spiritual guide and you need to call on him, because this looks as though it's nurturing and helpful for you right now. Make life so much better with his energy around you. Teresa Schmidt. Teresa. I had a little girlfriend named Teresa when I was in grammar school. And the first day I saw her, she punched me in the stomach. And I was shocked, of course, and didn't know what to do. And the teacher came after her and separated us. And I didn't fight back, because that's not how I was trained and raised, so I didn't. And I went home and I said to my dad and my mother, this little girl hit me. And my dad says, the next time if she does it again, you take your book and you put it over your head and hit her with your book, and she won't do it again. I thought, oh my gosh, I have to hit somebody. Very difficult. But sure enough, she did. I got on the bus, off the bus. The minute we were at the school ground, she hit me. So I took my book over my head and I hit her as hard as I could. And we became best friends. And we were best friends for up until high school. And very interesting relationship. Here we go with the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups for you is, there's got to be a new discovery coming. There's something you're finding out very soon that you didn't know. There has been some kind of secret that no one told you. And I don't know who's going to give that message to you or teach you whatever. There's something you need to learn that you haven't understood or known about. And it may be something about your ancestry. I don't know if you've had your DNA done, but I highly recommend it right now. Lisa Rowe. Lisa, hi. Three of Pentacles. There's a new way for you to make money. And a very strong way. It's like money growing on a tree. And that means whatever you're going to do to make money in the future will probably do very, very well. It could be the same job you already have had, but I kind of doubt it. I think it's more like starting your own business of some kind. And it looks like it will last for a long, long time. Yes, I think it's a new business for you. Glinda Foster. Glinda, of course, I could make all these comments about that name, but it's all good, isn't it? The Two of Wands. Okay, this is balance in some way, and that's, you're seeking balance, and we all do in some way. But this is, you're looking outside of yourself for balance in finances, romance. It's not going to come from anyone else. It's got to come from you deciding what that balance is going to be in your life, what you will accept and what you won't accept. That's what it needs to be done. Your sovereignty is important here. Very much so. It's your choices, not someone else's. Marissa Aureli. Melissa, is it?
Marissa.
Marissa. You have the Knight of Swords, but this, it's a unicorn riding on a horse. I think that's one of the most odd ideas I've ever seen in a card. But the fact that unicorns represent something almost unobtainable, and yet we know that they are real in some way. And it's very possible in the past that they did survive here, because we don't know everything about all the animals and all the life here from the beginning. But the unicorn is always about some kind of purity, being truthful and not lying, sharing the truth with people, expecting the truth from people is what you should expect. And you should keep truth in everything you do right now. Don't make it up. Use what is real in your life right now. Important. Abby Smith. Hi, Abby. Okay, Seven of Cups. It always represents starting a business. It always represents something that you may do, I don't know, online most likely, on a computer somehow. It looks as though it's at a home business. And it could be so many different things. You're very talented in so many different ways. You can do almost anything when you put your mind to it. How wonderful is that? You could be an artist. There's nothing wrong with earning a living as an artist. A lot of people do. I know that in my day, when I was younger, of course, and we're talking about in the late 30s, early 40s. And then after high school, I had a scholarship to RISD, Rhode Island School of Design. And my aunt says, oh, you can't make a living as an artist. You'll be a starving artist. So I didn't go to art school. Instead, I did all kinds of different things that were very artful, because art is important. It's one of the only things left by any civilization is architecture and art of some kind. That's it. And so your ability to create whatever it is very strong now. And I employ you to use that talent. Amanda Crane. Amanda. It's kind of one of my favorite names. I love Amanda. It sounds so romantic. It's a beautiful name. The Nine of Pentacles. So whatever you're doing for money or are going to do for money is going to perpetuate. It's not going to go away. You're never going to starve, Amanda. You're always going to have money. Somewhere, from some way, it will come to you. And that's a wonderful thing to know. You can almost breathe a sigh of content knowing that that's going to happen for you. It will come from somewhere. It's amazing, because my life has been like that. Just at the most desperate times, something happens and it all turns around to good. And I think that's for you as well. Courtney Lynch. Courtney. Okay. This is called the Fool, but the Fool card doesn't mean that at all. It means that you could step off a cliff and somebody would catch you. So it means that you might do things spontaneously, and if you do, not to worry. Whatever you've decided to jump into, and this is the card of Alice jumping down the rabbit hole. And that's what you need to do right now. Just do it. Whatever it is you decided to do, don't be afraid to continue. Gina Hustler. Gina Hustler. Gina, hi. The Five of Swords. Now, the number 5 represents the 5th month, which is May. And that's usually, it's ruled by Venus, so it's all about love. But this is a sword. And she is a queen here. I would think very much that you should cut ties with someone, delete them. They're not important in your life anymore. Probably never have been. So it's time to cut ties with whoever it is. Don't take anything bad from anyone. Sharon Green. And Sharon, we're going to see what card you have. The Four of Wands. Now, the Four of Wands is fortification. You need to lock your doors. You need to be more careful with fire. Don't put something in the stove or on the stove and forget about it. Never blow out candles with your breath, but if you're burning candles, make sure you don't leave the room they're in and put them out before you leave the room. So it's all about safety right now for you in all different ways. And it doesn't mean something's going to happen. We're preventing things from happening. That's exactly what this is about. And it must be in your astrological chart that you need to, like I said, to be more careful with everything. Lauren Nicole. Lauren, one of my best friends' name is Lauren. Lauren Dye. She went to Harvard, Celtic Studies, and also worked at Harvard, and retired now. And she's a high priestess in the Cabot tradition. She helped teach us how to pronounce the gods and goddesses' names, because it's very difficult, because most of them are Gaelic, and it's very difficult for me. How about you, Chris?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
You remember her teaching you?
That class, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get her to do that again, because I think we still need it, don't we? Okay, Seven of Swords, Lauren. It usually represents something being stolen or taken away. And it can represent having a thief around you. Someone that's stealing something. And it doesn't have to be material things. It can be stealing your ideas, your time, wasting your time. That's theft in itself right there. So I'd be cautious about that, especially in relationships. Don't let anyone waste your time. Stacy Simone. Simone, is that French? It sounds French. I'm not sure.
Sounds it.
It does. This is about justice. This is about a legal matter. Or it's about not allowing people to get away with anything right now. Either get a lawyer or delete is a good way of stopping people who are not doing correct things for you. Don't get involved with too many people right now. Be very, very cautious about anything. Don't sign anything at all until Mercury comes out of retrograde. Don't sign anything. Camille Steffen. Camille. Hi, Camille. Camille, it's a Knight of Cups. You know, cups always represent a male who is generous or who may have money, but it's also a loving cup. So this could be a man who really cares about you. And if he's not in your life, he's going to be. It could be very unexpected. And if you already have someone, they might have to move over a little bit, because this man is coming into your life. And I think it's sort of meant to be. Very interesting. Sharon Monty. Sharon, you have the Ace of Cups. Now the aces, we all know, represent a new beginning. In this instance, I think it's some kind of prize or award that's going to come to you, or you're going to win something. And I have no idea what it is. I'm not talking about the lottery, although I really don't know. I do know that you could win at some situation or win something that is material in the near future anyway. So I would go for it a little bit. I'd go for it and try to win whatever it is you want at this point. Kate, wisteria. Wisteria is an interesting plant. It's prolific and beautiful and very invasive when it's near a home. The Two of Swords. Okay, this is not, the swords don't always represent something bad, but they do represent protection, awareness, and this looks like there are two different things you need to decide, and you can't make up your mind. Are you a Libra? I wonder. Or is there Libra in your chart somewhere afflicting you? Because you do have to make a choice here. And that choice is coming up very soon. You have to make a choice. Sue Finley, the Queen of Swords. Ooh, is she tough to deal with? The Queen of Swords is a piece of work. I have a feeling it might be a relative and hard to deal with. And if it is a relative and a close one, you have to use some diplomacy, or you have to pat them on the head, say I love you, and walk away. And this person doesn't really, they love you, but they don't really know you. So they're going to impose all kinds of ideas on you. This is what you should be doing, you shouldn't be doing that, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not true at all. So it's with good intention. So you don't have to listen to it all the time, because you have in the past. You've tried to please her. You can't please this person. This woman is not able to be pleased. Julissa Aubrey?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard Julissa before.
I haven't either.
Very different name, Julissa. It's the star. And the star, again, represents an Aquarian type person. Somebody who wants to do good for everyone. And when you do that, you certainly waste a lot of energy outside of yourself. And sometimes it's not wasted, it's helping people. But you need to help yourself first. We need to love ourselves to be able to give love. And we need to love ourselves to get love. Nobody wants someone who doesn't love themselves, because they're always needy. They're always looking for love instead of finding love. And if you have low self-esteem, you'll just keep looking and not find it, because it's not within you. And this is something that's very difficult for a lot of us. Alexandria Nance. Alexandria, a very powerful name. It's the Five of Cups. You know, sometimes we reach way beyond what we can achieve instead of looking closer to what we can achieve. we have to take assessment of taking one step at a time and not holding back and taking a step towards what we want, but laying down the groundwork and looking and visioning your end result of how things are going to end up. So you need to take a step towards that goal, but also vision it that it's already done, and we'll see what happens for you. Monica Maples. That sounds like a UK show on PBS, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, wasn't there one that was like that? Miss Maples or something?
I think the Marple.
Huh?
Not Marple.
Oh, maybe Marple, Miss Marple. That's possible.
We'd have to ask Tim.
I know, I never watched that one. This is The Magician. This is about pure magic. This is about you being able to manifest whatever you want with magic. It's so sad to me that people don't realize how it works and that magic's real. It's accessible. You can learn to project and manifest things in your life through light energy from your brain and your actions and the tools of witchcraft, which are, crystals and candles and all kinds of wonderful things with energy that produce that for you. Magic's real. If you haven't read a book on magic, I suggest my first book, Power of the Witch, and I've written, 8 or 9 books now? Do you know how many, Chris?
Off the top, 4, 8, 9.
9 books. I've written 9 books on magic, so I suggest if you already are doing it, it's fine, but I have a feeling you need to explore it even more. Nikia Gaspar. Nikia. It's another name I've never heard before. Nikia. Very unusual name. It's the 8 of Cups. This is again about a business, opening a business of some kind, selling things, making money on your own. If you aren't doing it now, you need to explore that and find out how to do that. You don't need to get out in the world and have a grueling job of any kind right now, no matter what your schooling is. Sometimes we think we're going to be da-da-da, and I've had a friend who, he became a CEO in a big company, and he found out it wasn't fun. And he always liked to bake. He opened a bakery. He's very happy, very successful. He's up in Maine. He sells beautiful, wonderful things every day, and he makes plenty of money. So rethink what you're doing for money. Monica Lopez. Jennifer Lopez is one of my favorites. Do you like her, Jennifer?
Yeah, very much.
She's really sexy girl. This is the 8 of Pentacles. All these cards represent all this. This keeps happening, but I guess it's for a reason. It's because of what's happening with our virus, because we can't, work is stifled for most of us. Will you take care of this candle, please? This candle's going down too far. Yeah, if you want to put it out, it's fine. I guess the only way. Oh, thank you. It's like repetition, and I've been doing this for a long time. And once I see these cards that represent starting a business, owning your own business, creating something that sells is another thing, whether it's your business or not. It might be something on the side. A lot of people are crafty, and they do craft kind of things, and they go to, they put it online and sell it. And it's a wonderful thing. It gets all your creative juices going and satisfied, and you make money with it. So I don't know if that's possible for you, but it looks as though you need to think about owning your own business. Diana De Prima.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Diana. Temperance. So you gotta chill. Too nervous, and your nerves are creating imbalance in your body. You need to be careful about how anxious you get over things. Meditation is very important. It doesn't have to be about witchcraft. Meditation is something we all do. If you close your eyes for more than 3 minutes, your brain wave goes down into what is called alpha level, where we usually dream in that level. But you can sit in a chair, close your eyes, and just relax. Take a deep breath. You can learn how to count yourself into alpha, because that's what I teach. It's available. My book of my first book, Power of the Witch, is now on audio, and Amazon has it. Christian Day said it was fabulous. That the woman who read it, she's number one in the world that does. I was so lucky to have her, and he said it almost sounds like my voice, which is really interesting.
I think it would have been better if it was your voice.
What?
I think it would have been better if it was your voice.
I know, but you know how difficult it is? I tried that once, and I couldn't even read my own book out loud. It's so funny. But anyway, it's available on audio, which would help you a great deal with learning how to count down into alpha, because it's in that book as well. Ashlyn White. Ashlyn, hi. Ashlyn. Ace of Swords. This is about cutting back on something that you're ingesting, something you're eating too much of, and not balancing the vitamins in your body. I don't know what this is about, but it seems to be about your health, and that you should take care of balancing your food, maybe taking a multiple vitamin every day. I take a prenatal vitamin. It has more folic acid for building cells, of course, for pregnant women. And I'm 88 and I take a prenatal vitamin. It's very complete and very good for you. I suggest that you take a look at your diet and your health at this point in your life. Augusta D'Amanto, Page of Wands. I think you're a unique person. That's what this says. That you could think out of the box and create new things and new ideas if you allowed yourself to do it. Don't care so much about what other people think. It doesn't matter. They don't. A lot of people. It's like people on Facebook. They don't know you, and they criticize you. How ridiculous! You know, that's a delete button. It doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you think about you and what you're doing with your life, not what they have to say. You know, I would never have stepped out as a witch if I listened to everybody. My mother's attorney said, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't open a witch store." Oh, no. And this is way back in the 50s when I wanted to do it. And he says, you can't do that. Someone will come in and harm you. And I said, no, they won't. That's not going to happen. And, of course, I didn't listen. And I'm happy there's witch stores everywhere. There's witches everywhere. We're #1 religion in America. How do you like that? I love it. So this is unique. This is who you are. Own it. That's what I think. And again, don't pay attention to any naysayers with your ideas. Liz Diaz. Hi, Liz. The world. I don't know if you've traveled in the past, but when you can, when things change, I suggest you do as much traveling as possible in any way you can. If you have some kind of inability in movement, then you would have to find a different way of doing things, but you need to travel. And maybe some mind travel. You know, that's why I watched that new station Dabble, because it's mind traveling to those beautiful places. And there's nothing wrong with watching the History Channel and different kinds of channels where you do mind travel rather than watching sitcoms and things like that that are useless for you. But this is the world being offered to you. And I don't quite know what that means, because once something like that is offered, you have to accept it. It may be something that you've wished for in a long time and it's about to be granted. And if it's granted, you can't say no, because it'll never happen again. Once that offer comes, accept it, because that's what you asked for. And you wouldn't be getting the offer if it wasn't real and meant for you. Shannon Ruby. Shannon, this is the Four of Swords. This is you, well, relaxing, sort of, trying to. But it's also protection again. This is one of those cards that says lock the doors, take more precautions about everything. It doesn't mean to frighten you. I don't see anything happening. It's to prevent anything from happening. So it's probably something in your astrological chart that can bring a little danger around you. That doesn't mean it will actually manifest. And especially if you're alerted and you can do more to protect yourself. And I think that's quite important. It's very important. This is going to be my last card for the night. I don't know who the lucky person is. Bridget O'Fay. Oh my goodness, talk about Irish. And she's got the name of a goddess. You're a goddess? How wonderful. Nice to meet you. I like Bridget. She's quite a wonderful spirit. And you can call on her since you have her name. And she will help you. She's amazing, amazing being. I bet she would come to you simply because you have her name. The Seven of Wands. 7 is usually a number of karma. Karma isn't about having to undo or redo something you did bad in the past life. That's not what it's about at all. It's about the working out of your life now, what you do to make this life wonderful, and what lessons you learn. I wish I'd learned more of my lessons. I'm still learning them. I guess that doesn't end. But this karma for you is not bad. It's good. It's something you have to examine, take seriously, and look at what you're doing now that will bring good things to you, and not accepting anything that's going to do bad things for you. As simple as that. But it may not look simple, or it may not even be apparent right now that you should scrutinize things so carefully. But I'm telling you, you should be very, very careful about all the things that will produce your future here. Because it's going to be a good one. It's not a bad one. Isn't that nice? And it's nice to see all of you tonight. I really enjoy my time. I love talking about the crystals, and I'm hoping that you get involved with them, because it's a very powerful tool, not just for healing. It's for all magic. There are crystals that bring money, lots of money. Heather's really good at that. Heather knows all. She has so many beautiful, all kinds of jewels jewelry that is made from all these wonderful gems and crystals. She could talk about it. I'm sure she does when she does her readings.
Yeah, Heather and Allie are always my go-to.
Okay, I'm sure, because they're so good at it and they know what they're talking about, and helpful. And everybody needs money right now, and everybody needs help, and all of us need healing, or we need to send healing to someone else, you know. And you know, Black Lives Matter. It's not about everybody matters, because not everybody's being isolated and looked at separately from everyone else. It's not fair, and brutality and violence from the police who are trying to help us, supposed to help us, could be hurting, and to be violent with it. They don't need to kill people. They don't need to. They can decide not to. And especially people of color. How dare you with the position you have? It's not going to last for you if you continue doing this to the people of black. It's not. I wish you good night.